everyone. This is Georgia with Georgia's Crafty Creations, and today I'm going to be making a project with May stamp sets. And this stamp set is called Fond Noel, and the very first time I saw it, I remembered being a kid and going and picking up pine cones to make ornaments with. And then when my kids were little, I made ornaments with them too. And the ornament I saw when I saw this set was this cute little reindeer ornament. Now I made the ornament. I'm not going to show you how to make the ornament, but I'm going to show you how to make the card inspired by a pine cone ornament. So the card we're going to be making is this cute little reindeer with googly eyes. And I thought this would be a great project for a kid or even to give to a kid for a Christmas card. But I did use 3 different stamp sets in this. From Fond Noel, we're going to be using the large pine cone, the small pine cone, the larger branch here for the antlers, and then on this one we're going to try something a little different because I didn't like how stark this is. We're going to try just stamping some pine around the outside edges and see how that looks. So we're going to use that from that stamp set. From Memory Lane, we're going to use the stamp that says Holidays Lead You Down Memory Lane because that's how I feel this card did for me. And then for the inside of the card, we're going to use the sentiment from Celebrate the Season that says lasting memories of Christmases ago bring us together and new memories grow. So maybe you can make this card with your kids or grandkids and just get a nice memory going. So let's get started. I'll tell you all the pieces you need to make this. There's several mats, but it really goes quickly making it. Now you're going to start off with a red card base, and this is just Recollections paper from Michaels. And this is going to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then just crease it. Then you're going to need 2 white mats. And these are going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. One will be for the inside. You're going to need 1 red mat, 4 by 5 1/4 inches. You're going to need 1 pattern mat. This is 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. And this pattern paper I got from the Echo Park 'Twas the Night Before Christmas Volume 1 paper pack, which this has a lot of different backgrounds that would be really cute with this card. And then you're also going to need 1 square red mat, and this one is 3 3/4 inches square. And then you're going to need a piece of watercolor paper, and this is going to be a 3-inch square. And then you'll need 1 small red strip. This is 2 3/8 by 7/8 inches. And then you'll need a little piece of white, and this is 2 1/4 by 3/4 inches. And then you're just going to need 1 more strip of pattern paper, and this is 1 inch by 4 1/8 inches. And this is just to add a little bit of the pattern on the inside. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to grab our watercolor paper. And once again, I pulled out all the stamps we're going to use, and I keep them on 1 stamp block to where they're all handy. Now we're going to take, the first thing we're going to use is the bigger pine cone stamp, which is going to make our face. It's going to be like that. And the ink pad we're going to use for this is Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide ink. This is the Vintage Photo, and I'll show you why we're going to use this in a minute. But we're going to go ahead and start stamping. And this you don't have to worry about being real straight with. You just want to stamp it. Get a nice good stamp with it. And I'm going to bring him down to the bottom edge of the paper as close as I can get to it. That's good. And then the next one we're going to use the teeny tiny pine cone to make his ears. And you're just going to take it and stamp it twice. You'll come off to the side of the head. And then the same on the other side. Like that. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is do his antlers. And that's where I use this bigger branch at. Now I did look at pictures of deer, even though I've seen deer, just to make sure. but the antlers kind of come to the inside of the ear. And if you don't quite touch there, don't worry about it because you can fix it in the next stamp or the next step. And even if it comes off the page a bit, it's okay too. So we're going to stop right there with that. Put this ink pad away. And then I'm going to use just a small paintbrush, and I'm going to dip it in water, and I'm just going to want this damp. And you're just going to pull your ink from the distress ink out, and it will just give you a nice color to your deer. Now you don't want to do it too much because you want to keep that pine cone intact. You want to still be able to tell that it was a pine cone. Get the same thing up in the ears. Now you can bring a little with the ears just to make sure your ears look attached if you want. Same thing where I didn't get it quite to the antlers, to his head. We can take and draw a little of the ink that way. And then I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm just going to dry that because I want it to go quick so we're not sitting here. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do with this one, which is a little bit different, let me grab a scrap here. I'm going to set my deer on top of there. And I'm going to grab the little pine bough stamp, and I'm going to grab a green ink. This one I'm using is from Creative, or Close to My Heart. It's an Ivy ink, but I want to see what it would look like just to stamp a little bit of pine. And it doesn't even have to be real great. It can go off the page. We can even double stamp it. A little over here. A little at the top. And maybe just a little right there. Just to give it a little more color around. I think I do like that. We're going to do this one that way. So I'm going to close up that ink. And then I'm going to grab, I have these two little googly eyes, which you know what, we're going to wait till the end to put those on until we get our card all assembled. So we're going to set this aside for a moment. We're going to take our card base and our mats, and I'm just using art glitter glue to glue these together. I'm going to glue the red one onto the white first. And my glue's stopped up just a little. I'm just going to poke it and open it up. That should do it. Now we should be able to do this. Except I got a little bit too much coming out, so I'm going to go in a little bit with that. And we're going to take our red mat and put it on top of our white mat. And you have a little bit of time to adjust this since you are using wet glue. There we go. Grab my paper towel. Okay, and then we're going to take our pattern paper and we're going to put it on top of that mat. Okay, we're going to put this mat down on the red. And I put a little bit bigger border to this one. And then we're going to take these mats and put it onto the card base. Make sure I have that. Okay. I think I like that. We're going to just wipe off any excess glue that came out. And then we're going to take our reindeer, which he should be good and dry now. We're going to put him onto the red square mat. There's a lot of mats to this card, but really mats go together pretty quickly. And I just like the different layers with the mats. And that looks pretty good. And then we're going to take him, and we're actually going to use foam squares. And I'm going to bring him up just a little bit from the bottom. Yep, that looks pretty good. I do like having the green around, so that's pretty much personal preference. You can leave it blank, or you can do some green, or you can even do holly, different things around it. Now we can put his little eyes on. I'm going to take and just put a little dot of glue on. And just kind of place the eyes wherever you want them. This glue dries clear, so it's a good glue to use for this. I like that. And then we're going to take a little red jewel. I think this is the size I need, and put it right there for his little nose. So he's like a Rudolph reindeer. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to take our little piece, and we're going to take a sentiment from Memory Lane. It's the one that said, "Holidays lead you down memory lane." And this we're going to use a Cranberry Bliss ink from Fun Stamper's Journey, but you can use whatever red ink you have on hand. Once again, I try to work upside down so you guys can see clearly. So let's just hope this stamps the first time. If not, we'll just flip it over and do it again. That looks good. I can live with that. And then we're going to take our sentiment that we kept out from Celebrate the Season. And we're going to go ahead and stamp that in red on the inside of our card. And you can use your Misty for this too. But on this one, it's not a super lot of stamping, and I think we can... we're going to flip that one over and do it again. Want that one to be a little darker. If you're using your Misty, you could just restamp it. But if you're doing it by hand, you can do it too. Just flip your card over. That's better. It's a little crooked, but I can live with that. Okay, so now we're going to take our little sentiment for the front. And glue it on to the little red mat. That looks good. Again, I'm going to take my paper towel. Wipe off any excess, and I'm going to take, again, we're going to do foam squares. We're going to pop this up off the card too. Actually, I'm just going to do one on this one, right in the middle of it. And we're going to pop it right up on the top of our card at an angle, or you can put it straight, whichever way you like to do it. And then we're going to take our mat, with our sentiment. And we're going to pop that to the inside of our card. And I like that. And then this little strip, I just did that to kind of bring the pine and berries to the inside. You just glue it wherever you want. I like it toward the bottom. You can put it all the way to the bottom if you like, but I like leaving some of the white space. So we're just going to take that and pop that in. So I hope you all like this card inspired by memories from my childhood. If you like it, like below and subscribe. And also share what you make with this project over on Maymay Made It on Facebook or on George's Crafty Creations. And I will link links below for all the stamp sets that I used in this project. I hope you all have a great day. Happy crafting!